Hi, Parker.
Hello, Poonam.
Hey. So today I wanted to bring up a video of Eckhart from School of Awakening. Um, it is a Q&A where maybe you'll get like the end of the question, but this person is asking, why do we have to look up to you? Why can't we all awaken the same as you, Eckhart, right? This person is asking. I want to show his response, and then I have an epiphany about Eckhart's response. Here we go.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Kind of culture happening, which was, turn on, tune in, and drop out. So I did a little bit of that, and but I went searching for this feeling of connectedness, and followed various books, and but the one that really hit the note was "Be Here Now" by Richard Alpert.
Yes.
To first of all, again, thank you for that, but at the same time, I don't want to be a disciple. I don't want to be a follower. And I just wanted to ask you, on behalf of me and the school as well, maybe, that we want to wake up and not be followers. We want to be awake.
Yes.
So, do you agree?
Very good.
Okay.
I agree, of course, 100%.
Thank you.
It's knowing, being able to use the presence that comes through somebody seemingly other than you, but not ultimately other, to use that as a help until the presence is alive in you, and always be aware of the danger of forming an attachment to the person through whom presence comes, and confusing the being and the human. So making the human special, because presence comes through the human, the being comes, that's the trap. Realizing that in this case, me, I'm like a window frame. This person is like a window frame. So the light comes through the window, and there's a frame that enables the window to be there, and that's all it is. So if you love the light that comes through the window, you would not worship the window frame, and you would not get attached unless you are misguided. You wouldn't get attached to the window frame, because the light is in you. And so I discourage that kind of attachment. Otherwise, I would have some kind of I would have disciples and followers, and there would be huge structure to the organization and all that. There is structure, of course, because in this world you need structure. But the sooner you don't need to come to see me anymore, the better. I'm always happy when people say, I don't need to come anymore. And still, they might even come because they just enjoy it, and that's fine, as long as there isn't an attachment. Or occasionally they may still find that they need the deepening, so because in this world can pull you out so easily. So you get another boost of presence by coming, and that's fine. It's nothing much to do with this person. When this person is gone, you can still watch all the stuff that's been recorded, and that's just as good. Yeah. And in many cases, I have discovered, I've known followers of various spiritual teachers, and often the best thing that can happen to the disciples or the followers if the teacher dies. and that creates a lot of. They're very upset, of course, and some don't remain upset for the rest of their lives. But quite a few of them become liberated because suddenly the form is gone, the form of the teacher is gone, and suddenly they discover it's always been in them also. When you recognize presence in another, it must be in you. Because if it were not in you, you wouldn't even recognize it. It's not only is it in you, it's also already accessible in you when you recognize it in another. If it were totally covered up, this entire teaching would be totally meaningless to you. You would say, what the hell are these people doing? And what is he talking about? Just makes no sense whatsoever. Because then there would be no awareness in you to recognize the awareness in another. And the recognition of presence or awareness in another is your presence or awareness. And ultimately there is not my presence and your presence. There's only one presence that manifests through countless human forms. There's only one consciousness. It's not mine, it's not yours. You recognize it in me means it's in you. And so you can, some people have a picture of me, I don't encourage that, but if they have it, if they use it and realizing they are not looking at a person, if it helps them to become present, I have an old picture of Ramana Maharshi that I sometimes look at. It's a famous picture where that picture is like a PowerPoint. You look at it and immediately it connects you with your presence. It brings you, through your presence, you recognize the presence that's there. And you're not worshipping a person, it's the presence shining through this person. And so that's what it is. And again, Ramana Maharshi never told anybody, don't leave me, you must stay with me because otherwise you'll be lost, don't go to any other teacher. That's all people who still have ego, teachers have ego, they want the attachment and all that. So use it as much as you need it. Don't get addicted to it. Also, don't overdo the listening to talks and so on. Again, knowing the middle way, as the Buddhists say, nothing in excess. Don't spend 6 hours a day, every day, listening to my talks.
So when I listened to that, right, the epiphany that I had was, that's why Jesus passed away. When Eckhart talked about the best thing that the teacher could do is the form can be taken away, I kind of feel like Jesus kind of knew that his disciples and the people around him had started worshiping the form that is Jesus. Right? And that's why I think Buddha passed away early in his life as well. Like when they realize that the teaching is becoming more a form and they are not experiencing their presence, right? And the form is becoming the obstacle to the others finding presence. And that's why he says, not my will, but thy will be done. Because his will as a human will be, I want to keep teaching years and years and years until I pass away at 100 or 200 years. And in those days, people lived longer, right? So his will would be, human will would be, why would anybody want to pass away as fast as possible? Like if they're giving such a beautiful teaching, but I think that was that pointer of Eckhart's, that the teacher needs to pass away for the teaching to actually come through for all the people that are getting identified with the form of the teacher. is a beautiful pointer. What do you think, Parker?
Well, I've always been a little bit rebellious against authority. That's the low vibe of it. But the high vibe is a particular discernment around these things. And one of the reasons why I will continue to listen to Eckhart's talks is because he hasn't set himself up in the same way, and I decided he's special, and then select some special people to be around him, and then you can be special if you're around him or them, or it's to worship. I think there might be, I don't have the experience of this, so I don't know what it would feel like to be to work with a teacher and also think that they're more special than I am. So silly. So, but he said that they experienced liberation after the form of their teacher passed away. So I have experienced profound and deep gratitude for Eckhart and for his form. Just grateful that he's alive. And I'm also, the last thing he said is, don't listen to my talks for 6 hours a day. Let's stay the middle road, balanced, right? Being and doing. And when I first started listening to Eckhart's work, I was listening to his books more than 6 hours a day. I don't think I turned them off for a long time. I think there's a place for it, right? I was hungry when it was new, and I was understanding it from beyond the mind. It was so deeply impactful for me at the time. But I love that he comes back around to this topic again and again. I think that it's, what a question. Did the Buddha and Jesus, I don't know how old the Buddha was. I think Jesus was 32 or 33. But very young. They were also like accomplished carpenters by the time they were 12, and that age too. I'm kidding. But they, everything was very quickly done in a short period of time when lives were much shorter. Thank you so much for sharing that. It was completely new to me, and a beautiful questioner too. And that questioner understood his answer. He understood the answer before the answer was given. But it's so good that he kind of brings that up so that we don't end up getting confused with the window and the window frame, the light coming through the window frame.
Yeah, and I don't have any, I love Eckhart's teachings. I adore his teachings, but I have no attachment to the form. Like there is never a desire that, I should be, they should be a huge picture of his in every room of my home or anything of that sort. No. Or I should burn some incense sticks, hold his picture and burn some incense sticks, nothing of that sort. There's not a single picture of Eckhart, not even on my computer do I save. I only see it on Facebook when people post his pictures. So,
well, when you and I went and saw him in Denver, and I have a photo from then, and I put it on a mug.
Awesome.
A coffee mug, and I love that there. I love him. I love him as another human being, and I can't say what would happen when he dies, but I suspect I would grieve, just could feel it, right? Because I love his essence, right? And what a beautiful teacher. It's kind of like when Satan brings Jesus up to I think I'm going to get this story right. I'm not great at this, but he brings him up to a hill, and he said, just worship me and I will make your life so cushy and lovely. You're going to have all the beautiful land and power and fame. You're going to have all these things served for you if you just will just worship me. And he said, nah, I'm not going to do that. So that's a beautiful story as a metaphor or allegory for how tempting and seductive some of our pain body and ego voices are, and to just come to the like get attached to all these pleasures that we can seek that are outside of ourselves. Really beautiful story. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Let's end it at that. Thank you.